It's time for She Said, She Said. It's like The View, but good. And the only show on the computer where you get to talk about your opinions through us, but we say it and better. With your hosts, the always delightful Laura Honey, the incomparable Gloria Lopez Candle, and to keep things fresh, a mystery guest host. Who could it be? It's time for She Said, She Said. On today's show, we've got all kinds of spicy subjects for the gals to get into. And after that, hard-hitting interviews with premier celebs you're not going to want to miss. It's all coming up on She Said, She Said. Welcome, everybody, to She Said, She Said. I'm Gloria Lopez Candle.
And I'm Laura Honey, and we are so excited because today we have a very special guest host who is joining us, Ashley Bratzbauer from a radio contest. Congratulations, Ashley.
Thank
you. Tell us, Ashley, how many chicken wings did you have to eat to be here today?
I ate 6 baskets of chicken wings.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of chicken wings.
Yeah.
Tell me, Ashley,
Wow.
Did you eat the bone too or just the wing?
I did accidentally eat one bone, but
Oh my
most of
gosh.
them were boneless, but one came with a bone, and I did eat the bone.
Wow, that's a real fan. That's the kind of fan we like to see here, right, Laura?
Oh, that's right. And we're glad that you made it from swallowing that whole bone to be here, because that would have been
wasn't the first time I
would-
swallowed a whole bone.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Ashley's a firecracker.
She's a real spicy gal. I like that. She's got her Bud Light lime. What is that? What is that, Ashley?
It's a Bud Light seltzer with lime, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
A real ladies
Why
drink.
not? No kidding. So Gloria, how are you? How's your night been? How's your work been?
It's been good. You know, as I told you, I recently started to take saxophone lessons. And I feel like I'm getting really good. I did have a little bit of a snafu on the bus with my saxophone, taking my skills out. Apparently I'm not good enough to play on a bus yet, so I angered several people. But I don't know. I just feel like I need to get out there and just, play my tunes.
That's really tough. So you went right from a lesson to just going right into your own renegade performance on a bus?
Mm-hmm. I took one lesson. I took the bus home. I was like, I gotta keep this sax out. I want people to ask me about it. And I thought the stares I was getting were prompts for me to play. Turns out they were not. So people were upset.
What song did you play?
I played my own little tune that I call Footsteps Parade. It's just what I imagine my own footsteps to sound like upstairs on the apartment.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
Oh.
it's going to be a real Grammy winner one day. I just got to fine tune it a little bit, maybe figure out how to play a couple more notes, and then I should be good to go.
My son Hayden, he plays the saxophone, and he's not good yet either, but he's been playing like 2-3 years.
It's a difficult instrument. It's got a
yeah.
lot of buttons.
Really does. And your
Yeah.
son Hayden, you said?
Yeah, he's 10.
Yeah. Okay. How nice.
What's little Hayden into?
Oh, well, he mostly just plays with his other brothers,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have seven kids, 6 boys and 1 girl. I wasn't gonna
wow.
stop till I got a girl, They all
You're-
look
you're
so
a
much
right
like
old-
my.
You're a right old factory, aren't you?
Yeah. My husband Jason and I, we made them all.
Just the two of you? That's so insane to me. I can't
Well, I
imagine
wasn't gonna-
7.
I wasn't gonna stop till I got a girl because they all look so much like Jason. It's too much. Too much.
I do hear people saying that they don't want to stop until they get a girl or a boy, but usually people stop after 4.
Well, I didn't.
Yeah, I
Wow.
stopped after 3, and I just got a dog of the gender that I wanted. So I had 3 boys and a girl dog.
Nice. That's very good. I can't believe how lucky I am. I have one sweet 3-year-old boy and a 6-month-old baby girl. So no more for me.
Wow.
That's it. That's a cat. That's a right old cat.
That can try. You got a girl.
Can I tell you what my son got into last night? Oh my
of course,
goodness.
Please. That little boy of yours is always into something.
He really is. He has so much energy and I can't keep up with him. So we got a bouncy bounce to put in our house because it was too much to go out. I'm so busy with my business and with my personal line, my clothing line, my kids line, my makeup line. So I just need him in the house so I don't have to worry. And he was in his bouncy bounce yesterday and I heard him bounce, bounce, bounce. And then he stopped bouncing and he was gone.
He just disappeared into thin air?
Well, that's what I thought. I went and I told my husband, Devon, Jackson bounced away. And we looked everywhere. We were really focusing on the ceiling because we figured, where else could he have gone?
Right.
And we looked through every nook and cranny of the ceiling. And then after about 45 minutes of us just staring at the ceiling, we heard him just hiccup and behind us. He was just on the other side of the bouncy bounce.
So he fell into a time warp continuum and ended up behind you?
I think so. I think he must have found, I don't know. I mean, I do believe in vortexes, but I just never thought a portal would be in my house. But apparently little Jackson maybe found it. I'm not sure. Or maybe he just fell off. I don't know.
Maybe he was masturbating.
Oh, 3-year-old? I don't think so.
He's 3? Maybe not.
He could have been. He could have been. He's smart, but he's rambunctious. So you never know. He could already been into that.
Can you say masturbate on daytime TV?
Well, you've said it twice, so it seems like it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Ashley? What's going on in your life these days?
Well, have you heard of Pinterest?
Yes.
The website?
Yes. Oh, I love Pinterest.
It's a website. You can put all kinds of, people put all kinds of crafts and dream boards, I guess you could say, on there. And anyway, I found this thing that I could do with my kids, and it was to make little Christmas cards for the family, And you make little snowmen out of cotton balls. You just stick them on and they're the snowmen. And I had all 7 of my kids, doing this. We had Aiden and Caden and Hayden and Raiden, the one from Mortal Kombat,
I thought the poison.
No. And then Flayden and Prayden. We ran out of names, and then my girl Levity. But we were making them, and they all were having a great time. They're mostly ugly and bad, but the older boys, they put tits on them.
Your kids are ugly and bad?
No, the projects, the cards.
Okay.
But the older boys,
tits on them?
I'm so sorry.
My oldest 2 boys, they put tits on them.
On the reindeer?
On the snowmen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I heard Christmas thing and I just picked one.
That's okay. Some of them look like reindeer.
Snowmen with... How old are these boys?
Well, they're 14 and 15. I started young,
Okay.
Their dad was like that at their age, so it makes sense.
It's still not an excuse to put tits, as you call them, on a snowman, a Christmas snowman. I assume that was a gift for grandma or something.
It was for grandma, and I was like, we can't send grandma that, you idiot. And then I threw them away.
So what are they going to do, grandma?
Who knows?
I am so afraid to have these conversations with my little Jackson one day. I mean, he's such a little angel. I can't imagine he would ever draw tits on a snowman. But you have to have these conversations with your boys. That must have been very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it happens every day. But, their father was like that, which I didn't mind so much.
What is the conversation that you would have to have? Is it don't put tits on stuff?
Well, about
They're going to put tits on stuff.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, I mean, unless I'm hoping I'm able to teach my sweet little boy to respect a woman and the womanly form up until, as early as 5, maybe.
That's what you hope for.
She looked good. It wasn't disrespectful.
Well, that's different. That's different for sure. If he drew them respectfully and well clothed, that's a Picasso situation. That's a young Leonardo da Vinci.
I didn't think of it that way.
You got yourself an artist there.
Yeah. And I suppose it didn't deter you from your husband when did you meet your husband?
Well, when we were 5, we went to kindergarten together, but we didn't start, dating until we were 12 or 13.
Oh, is that what is an 8th grade romance?
Yep. 8th grade sweethearts. We did break up in college though, when we were, we were sowing our oats, if you know what I mean. We worked on our family farms.
Sowing oats or you were working on the farm?
Well, both. I did have sex with all the farmhands.
That makes sense. I would have guessed it.
Most of them are much older. I learned a lot.
And maybe you could give us some tips. I'm always looking for tips.
Well, the bigger the hands, the smaller the balls.
I got it. Alan, can you write that down for me? I want to keep that tip for myself for later, please.
Sure.
I don't know if that's a tip. It's just a fact.
You. Well,
Gloria just recently got divorced.
Oh.
Is that right, Gloria?
Who got divorced?
Didn't you just recently get divorced?
Yes, I did recently get divorced. I'm sorry. I've been going through therapy and they've been telling me to just forget these memories and just pretend that I'm continually married. So sometimes when you bring it up, it's just like, I'm like, who? My husband? And then I remember, yes, I am divorced.
Oh my gosh.
For a very good reason, I feel like.
What may I ask?
Sure.
Yes, you may ask. He stole several monies from me. He stole my couch as well. And he opened a factory under my name that he then did several illegal activities with.
Oh wow. My. Yeah. Was this all in a year or was this throughout a long period of time?
This was throughout a long year. It's like a year that felt like a decade to me, but at the end of the day, it was less than a year, almost a year, a few days short of a year.
Are you going to drop the candle?
No, I feel like it's a very, it adds a little zest to my name. So I'm going to keep it around. Gloria Lopez Candle. Really rolls off the tongue. It's not awkward at all. So I think I'm going to keep it until the next bow comes along,
And just tack another one on the end.
I could. Or, Susan Sarandon kept her first husband's name. And then she dated Tim Robbins. And then they broke up. So I guess that's kind of the story I'm looking for my own life.
Well, best of luck to you with that, Gloria. I think it is about time that we move on to our next section of the show. What do you say, ladies?
I'm ready. Yeah. I'm ready for it.
Okay. This is Spicy Subjects, where we're going to tackle some of the hottest headlines that are facing our nation today. All right. So up first, this is breaking news today. Well, it's not breaking news, but a new parenting tactic is hitting the markets like crazy this week. I don't know if you've seen this. It's books and magazine covers everywhere. And it's pretending to be dead so your children behave. What do we think?
This one, I think it's controversial for sure. But it is one that I think is valuable, especially when you've got yourself a couple of rambunctious boys. I think that's something you could do. It makes them appreciate you, to think that you're dead and they're going to have to cook for themselves. They're going to have to clean for themselves now. You give them 2 or 3 days thinking that you're dead. Leave a note that says, I am dead because of you. You caused me death. Next thing you know, they're cleaning up the kitchen, they're making themselves their own meals. And when you come back, they're so much more appreciative of who you are. Then they're upset at being tricked. But for you've got a good couple hours there where they are appreciative. So I say, if it works, it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
I definitely,
Ashley. What do you
I've
think?
tried this a couple times unintentionally. Big game day and everything. I'll just, kind of pass out for an hour here or there, and they just figure it out. They don't need you as much as you think they do.
Yeah.
They eat their own SpaghettiOs. They don't need me to open the can. They know where the can opener is. I can't speak to it being controversial or not because I didn't do it intentionally. I don't read so much, but
can I ask, can you read or you just choose not to?
Of course I can flip and read. What is this? I read
just a question.
No, Ashley, no, we're all friends here.
I read the Facebook ad for the contest that got me on the show. Sorry, I've been drinking.
It's quite all right, Ashley. It's quite all right. Who hasn't drunken a couple of drinks at 9 a.m?
Can you read, Laura?
I can read. I choose not to because I prefer TV.
Yes, and I can read as well, and I read these articles, and I have to say, I hate to be the dissenting opinion here, but I just don't know if I think pretending to be dead is the right parenting tactic. My children are impressionable. I'm afraid I'm going to scare them.
I think the worst you can do, though, is make them think you're a ghost, and that's fine. Kids are very resilient. Have you seen Home Alone?
Well, I have seen Home Alone, and that's an aspirational child, really.
Have you seen Home Alone 2?
Yes, actually, probably more than I've seen Home Alone 1.
3? 3?
I have not actually seen Home Alone 3. I have heard it was not so
That's
good.
One. That's a real funny one.
We really like that one.
I like that one a lot.
In these movies, still, it almost is as if those parents died, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the little boy wakes up and they're gone. And I just, I think it is very good for kids to have this kind of accelerated learning. But I'm just afraid of traumatizing my children.
They'll get over it.
They get over so much. As you know, I'm on my 4th ex-husband, and they've forgotten pretty much every single one that I've had. As far as they're concerned, it's me and then a guy every now and then.
But do they think all your ex-husbands are dying?
I have told them that, and I told them, do you see what you did? You made us both die. You're lucky I came back, but Jeffrey is dead, and that's on you.
Is your your most recent ex the father of these children, or?
He is the father of none of them. I'm sorry, I had to think about that for a second.
It's all right. It's hard to keep track of who maybe was the dad when you got so many kids,
Yeah, I hear you, sister.
Well, this is a tough one. I think we're a little split, but we should move on to our next spicy subject.
Okay.
Here we are. This is something you in Wisconsin, Ashley, might have some touchstones here. So this is a woman in Iowa mistaked, I know, a scarecrow for her son and her son for a scarecrow, and she's now facing charges. So this is something that I actually fear quite a bit myself with my own son. He's very unusually tall for a 3-year-old, and he does sometimes look like a freaky scarecrow. So what do we do about this, ladies? How do we not end up like this woman in Iowa facing charges?
Well,
Gloria, do you?
Yeah, I say first off, you need to make sure that they are not wearing boots. You don't buy your sons boots. Make sure they're not standing on little boxes, that to give themselves a little bit of height. That's a thing that they will often do. If they are just naturally tall, then you just got to get them into a thing that keeps them out of the cornfields, like an NBA class, for example. You put them in an NBA class,
they're out there learning NBA stuff. They're learning to sell sneakers, learning to do slam dunks, learning to yell at each other with a basketball. And if they're busy in that NBA class, they're not going to go into the field. They won't be mistaken for a scarecrow.
That's a really good point. I never considered just don't put them near the fields where the crows would be scared of them.
Yeah.
Ashley, do you have any thoughts on this?
Well, where I live, it's a little hard not to go in the fields, so they're going to do that.
Oh, rural America. Yeah.
And most of my kids have blonde hair, like my husband.
Oh.
Believe it or not, I'm not a natural blonde.
What?
But
You cannot tell. You cannot tell.
well, thank you. This costs $50
Never would have guessed.
Oh,
to get my hair done.
Wow. It looks amazing. You look
Downtown.
so young.
And, well, thank you. But stop. But okay, so what I do is I put hats on my kids, different colors.
Mm-hmm.
One's a red boy, one's the green boy, one's the purple boy, and the scarecrows, they don't have hats. So I don't have to worry about a scarecrow sneaking in my house because I know which ones are the boys because they got the hats on.
Do your children ever prank you by putting a hat on the scarecrow?
Oh, if they did, I didn't catch it, but I have seen them switch hats with each other to get better treatment because I like some of them more than the others, and they know that.
Can you tell us who's your favorite?
Oh, the girl. Do I have to pick a boy?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you don't have to. This isn't a jail.
You don't have to on television. No.
Well,
but if you feel it.
It's Raiden.
I would have guessed because he's got a fancier name. He sounds like a nice boy, a nice-ish boy.
Yeah, he doesn't know about tits yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
Except
That's
mine.
sweet. They're young for so little.
Mm-hmm.
It's true, and I have such a little boy, but yeah, I don't want him to grow up into a life where people might be mistaking him for a scarecrow every single day, and because that could just create such terrible situations where he gets put into the field to scare away the scarecrows, and
You think
and
that
then
might
maybe
happen?
I think that could happen, and then he could be going to school one day. I mean, I have it's a growing business, and I don't know what city we're going to end up in. So if we end up somewhere in the country, what if he's going to school one day in a bus and the bus driver takes the scarecrow from the field and leaves my boy in the field? I don't know.
Oh, like a switcheroo?
Like a switcheroo. Yes.
You got problems if the bus driver's touching your boy. That's not something that you can't keep. You got to nip that in the bud. If the driver's
is that not
stopping.
allowed? Is that not? Is that frowned upon?
I mean, I don't get all the details, but I think that generally leads to bad things.
Oh.
If the bus driver has more of a bus driver-student relationship with the child.
I thought it was wrestling lessons.
So you
I
got
thought-
bigger problems.
I guess
I was figuring wrestling lessons. That's a thing the bus driver does with the students. They have wrestling lessons because the school doesn't have money to pay for a wrestling coach.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Actually. Yeah, sometimes the bus driver teaches math. If they're short.
Yeah, it's just a kindly thing for a bus driver to do.
So maybe I won't worry so much about my my boy looking like a scarecrow so much as I should worry about the bus driver touching my boy.
Yeah,
I
that's a
think
much
fair
more
point.
likely
That's
scenario.
A fair point. That's a fair point. And that's
What?
that's
Okay.
a powerful
All right.
message for all of us. We can control the things we can control, and we can't control the things we can't control.
This is such a lovely discussion that we're having, ladies, and I'm so appreciative of both of you for bringing me to this realization.
It's good to talk to
Cheers.
other moms about these things.
It's so important to talk to other moms. But I do have another headline here that's not about being a mother.
Oh,
It's
okay.
about being a woman.
My favorite second thing.
So last week, the remains of a prehistoric woman were found in an iceberg in Norway. Now, this is a huge deal for science, but I can't stop thinking, is this woman better than me? Ashley, what do you think? Do you think that a woman who is found in prehistoric iceberg is better than me? Or you, maybe. Maybe that's your entry point, and I'm just really fixated on myself here.
Well, is she just bones?
Well, she's quite well preserved, really. She was in ice for thousands of years, thousands and thousands. They haven't quite nailed down the time yet, but it seems like it's at least 5,000 years old. And she has some skin still on her.
All right. I guess it depends on the woman, but from what I've gathered, you're in a pack of ladies, you want to be the alpha lady. You want to get the wolves after you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the best way to do that, if you're not super confident in your looks, is just to be confident with your actions. So I think as long as you act tougher and more confident than this ice lady, you're going to be the alpha.
No, see, it was never quite so much an issue of physical appearance. I'm really worried that like she was tougher than me, you know? She lived 5,000 years ago, and she might have battled a mammoth for all I know.
Yeah, you probably don't have any.
That's my concern as well. That's my concern.
Yeah.
I feel like
Gloria,
the original sets the precedent, you know, like, you know, if what's her name? Judy Garland, right? Liza Minnelli can never live up to her. She kind of is a little broken for that. So I feel like that's a situation we're in here right now, where this original woman gets found and we can never be as good as her. And that feeling is just going to crush us, because at the end of the day, she is better than us.
She's so old, though.
She is older,
but
I don't know.
I can't help but think, I don't think my body's going to be that well preserved in 5,000 years.
That's true. Oh,
and for that, I mean, she probably had a history of battling these mammoth animals that I could never hold a candle to, right? Like, you've seen me playing.
You're good on a Peloton. You're good on a Peloton, though.
I am good on the Peloton. I have been taking so many great classes on the Peloton. I did not think about that, Gloria. Thank you so much.
Can I tell you, I watched your show. I was a big fan, and you still look great.
Oh, stop. Sunset Beach, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That was
did you have another show?
Long ago. She's talking about the reality show I was in high school, Sunset Beach. I moved on from that.
You really inspired my sexual awakening.
Oh, congrats to you, Laura.
I have so many questions that I don't feel appropriate asking right now, but I do think I have aged very well from the show, and thank you so much for bringing that up, Ashley. Because I sometimes think I should like watch the show, and then I see clips on YouTube because they always pop up on YouTube, and I just think. Actually,
you search
I don't look.
For them probably sometimes.
No, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. So embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. We should stop talking about it completely. But
do you ever talk to Frank? You guys were like,
everyone asks me that. Everyone always asks me if I'm still friends with Frank. And for the fans, yes, we do still talk sometimes, but we're just friends. We're both married now. Okay.
So I think we've pretty much determined that the prehistoric woman is better than you, Laura, since she's not concerned about, you know, all these past reality show little beginnings and such. So I guess that's
funny,
my final
Gloria.
opinion.
I was feeling a lot better about myself when we were talking about the show, and now you're bringing up the show as a negative for me, and I feel all these weird feelings.
I was just giving you the answer. You asked a question, so now I'm answering it. The prehistoric woman is better than you, and maybe better than some others, and not better than me. Do we have another headline?
Confident.
Okay, Gloria, we'll move on. This last headline is not a headline. This last headline is a riddle. If an ocean is a body of water, or is a continent a body of ground? And how does that make you feel about your body?
Wow.
The riddle? How does the riddle make me feel about my body? or the answer I've yet to determine?
Look, that's kind
the
of
riddle
the
part of it, I
nature of a
think.
riddle.
Okay.
You have to think about what it means to you, and you have to try to figure it out. That's the most important thing about a riddle.
Okay.
So, is the ocean a body of water, or is continent a body of ground, and how does that make you feel about your body?
I feel like this is a
Interesting.
wordplay thing, right? This is like we have to figure out the right order of the words in order to get the opinion. Is that the situation we're
I
in?
think you have to figure out, maybe it's more chronological than word.
Oh, okay. So what comes first? The body of land, the water, or the feelings about your body?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Okay.
I think it's a body of land.
You think it's a body of,
Because the water, if I remember from school, the water changes the land, and your body kind of changes over time.
Oh my gosh, we got ourselves a right old scientist here.
And it makes me feel bad about my body because, like, some of those continents look pretty good.
Some of those continents are real winners. They deserve a beauty crown, if you ask me.
I don't got mountains.
No.
Right.
None of us have mountains.
I got a canyon, I'll tell you that.
Oh, wow. Ashley, what a firecracker you are.
Now, I was just thinking to myself about how water came first. The body of water came first. So now
Maybe
I'm doubting if
in
the
the Bible.
continent is a body of land at all. Maybe it's more of a pimple on the body of the water.
Another interesting riddle to the answer to the riddle.
That would make me feel pretty good about my body, if we're being honest.
You feel good or bad?
Because I've never had a pimple as large as a continent, so.
Well, lucky you.
Well, it's because I had to do proactive when I was 16, but that was just because of the show. It wasn't.
You had a what?
I had a sponsorship with Proactive when I was 16 because I was so famous at 15 because of this. I'm not talking about the show. I'm just saying that I have very good skin because of Proactive.
You didn't even need it? You lied?
No. The Proactive helped my pimples, but I never. It was more preventative because I was seeing little bumps, and then but the point is, I never got a huge pimple because of Proactive.
Okay. Well, hats off to you. My answer to this riddle is 32, because I feel like there's a numbers thing that I'm not quite seeing, but that, once you put all the pieces together, you get that logic stirring in there. That's the 32. The riddle is like 32. It's a real 7, 8, 9 situation.
Okay. I think that's 32. Well, we'll submit all these answers into the generator that I got this riddle from, and then we'll see which one of us will win the prize.
Wonderful. Ooh, maybe one of us will get to be a guest on our own show next week.
Could be. All right. Well, those are all of our spicy subjects for today, ladies.
Okay. Should we get into some guests?
I think we should.
Okay. Our first guest is a world-renowned detective, hot on the case of a conspiracy theory affecting grocery store melons all across the country. Please welcome Detective Melody. Hello, Detective. Hello.
Hello, Detective.
Hey there.
Thank you so much for having me.
Please, can you tell us about this conspiracy that you're investigating at this time?
Yeah, as you said, I am world famous, so I'm very careful about which cases I take on into my caseload. I have people calling me grandmas from Florida, grandpas from California. They want me to solve their crimes, but I chose a case that was near and dear to my own heart. I'm sure you've all experienced this. You go into a grocery store, you see cantaloupes, you see watermelons, you see other kinds of melons, and you want the smallest one. Why? Because they have no seeds. But by the time you get there, they're all gone. Who's taking these melons? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Who is taking the melons from all of the grocery stores? That is something that I've dealt with personally. I do eat a lot of melons, but I mean, I just buy one up. I assume all of them come with seeds. Is that not the case?
Oh no, if you can get a regular watermelon, we're talking 15, 16 pounds. I'm telling you that there are watermelons that exist that are less than one. And we just don't see them. Where are they? They're not making it to our shelves.
Less than 1 pound?
Less than a pound.
How big would that watermelon be?
Roughly the size of a tennis ball.
Oh my gosh. So are you looking for apple-sized watermelons?
Well, I don't like to compare fruits.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend. If that was an offensive thing to say, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It was really offensive.
Oh my gosh. Alan, can we make sure we note that down? I don't want to make this mistake again.
Yeah,
Thank you. I want to edit that out, and I want this noted for later.
Thank you. I really appreciate you taking it seriously.
Thank you.
So when did you first start noticing that all of the small melons were not there?
2 weeks ago.
They were there before that.
Recent.
Yeah. They were there. And then 2 weeks ago, I was like, oh, my mouth is so dry. I would love a fruit that has juice in it. And then I went to the store and there were none left. And I asked them what day they get delivered. And I went there and it was already gone by the time I got there.
Wow. Have you considered perhaps drinking a beverage when you get thirsty, like you described, or is it strictly melons for you?
Excuse me 1 second.
She's sick.
Ooh.
I don't drink. Drinking is disgusting.
Okay. Well,
Even
Melody,
water?
Yes.
Melody, if that's the case, if you're not drinking any water, I don't know, I don't want to offend you, but I think it might be worth eating a full-size melon.
Yeah.
For the water, for the hydration.
Yeah.
My body can't process seeds because of the lack of water, so it's a mess. I've been sent to the hospital 5 times for that.
Just stick a straw in there and suck it out.
Okay, I mean, I could try that, but I'm already doing this whole press tour about that. I'm trying to figure out who's taking the melons, so it might kind of mess up my whole thing.
That would make her start the work from the zero. You can't start the work from the zero.
I really don't want to start over again.
Well, I always look for the biggest melons, personally, as long as I'm driving, which sometimes I'm not because I'm drinking. But if I'm looking for a melon for my family, I'm looking for a big one. But I do see men at the grocery store sometimes, old men that are looking at the melons, putting the big ones down, picking little ones up. So it might be old.
I gotta write this down.
Old single men.
Okay.
And what would you do if you found these melon? Are we going to call them thieves? Is that what we're calling them? Melon thieves? Melon evildoers? What are we calling them? And what is the punishment for them once you find them?
Yes, we are calling them melon alleged thieves. Emphasis on alleged because we are on television. And when I get them, I'm going to ensure that they are prosecuted to the full extent of the law. I mean, this is a crime as serious as any.
As any crime, even murder, like a serial killer.
Yep.
Are they paying? Are they paying for the melons? Because then I don't know if it's actually a crime.
Yeah, I mean, if I can't get them, then no one else can get them.
Okay, you're right. Okay. I'm sorry. You're the policeman.
I don't know what you want me to say.
You don't have to say anything, or you could say everything. It's totally up to you.
If when you get to the store, they're not there, then there's a problem.
That's true. They should keep them stocked if they're in demand.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not the only one buying them then. When you went in the past, did you see other people looking for them?
Oh yeah. There's a community of us. We call ourselves the tiny girls. And we always are looking. That's part of the how I know that this is such a big problem, because we have a message board and we say, Stop and Shop on 25A has them. And then we all go there, and by the time we go there, they're gone. And then they're like, King Cullen on 347 has them. We go there, they're gone.
Wait, where do you get these calls from?
The message boards that the tiny gals own and operate.
How do they know that the tiny melons are there?
They get tips from grocery store workers.
Oh, there's grocery store workers working on the inside?
Yeah. We're cracking this case from the inside out.
Damn.
Wow.
Got a few leads. You just gave us the old men. We're looking at mob bosses. We're looking at competing tiny melon enthusiast gangs. So we'll see.
Detective Melody, can I ask what police association you are associated with, and have they given you sort of the all clear to just pursue this 100%? What's going on with your other cases?
That's a really great question. I am not, nor have I ever been a police officer or associated with any sort of police organization. I do live in an apartment above my parents' garage in Long Island, New York. And I am not certified in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, so that answers all of my questions, I guess. Okay, wow.
You said you're going on a press circuit for this investigation. What other places are you talking to?
I'm talking to Newsday Long Island. I'm talking to my friend who like sort of sits outside the liquor store and like says like, "Hey, what's up?" to people. I told him about it. I've been just like popping my head into my mom's friend's house and like letting them know if they like are wondering like what's going on with me. Then I tell them.
Those guys outside the liquor stores, they know what's up.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Don't laugh at me. I know.
I'm sorry. If you could say anything to the Melon...
Ellen, can you help Gloria?
Ellen, Gloria needs a nose.
Ellen?
Her nose. Her nose
It just
thing.
reminded me of a joke that my son said, and I know it's so inappropriate, but it just reminded me of a joke that my son said. So that's what's going on with me. Please continue your.
If you could say anything, one thing to these Melon burgles, what would it be?
I would say stop. It's not funny anymore. It's not okay. You're ruining people's lives.
I just want to point out they are buying them, though. I mean, I think your problem is with the grocery stores for not doing the right thing with supply and demand.
That's a really good point. I'm gonna write that down. That could be the clue that cracks this whole case.
The grocery stores.
I'm just saying, if everyone is a tiny girl like you, then the store needs more tiny melons.
Is it possibly a farmer conspiracy thing? Maybe they chose not to grow anymore.
Have you talked to farmers?
Oh, you know what? I haven't thought about that. I'll definitely make an effort to look into that after this, for sure.
We've left you with a lot of powerful tips, I feel like.
Yeah, this has been really, really helpful.
What did you? Can I just? I'm just a little curious for my own behalf. How did you get this spot on this show?
Oh, actually, I thought that I was logging into a Zoom therapy session, and somebody had given me this link, so I just clicked on it, and then you guys asked me like a lot of questions about the stuff that was going on, so I just kept talking about it.
I'm so sorry. These jokes that my son said come up at the most inappropriate times. I'm so sorry. He's the next Chris Rock, and it's really funny to me.
Very good that your boy has such a future ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'd love to see that.
Yeah, my son just draws fucking tits. Can I say fuck on this show?
Well, you just did, actually.
So, well, all right. Well, Melody, thank you so much. Anyone else have any closing remarks for Melody before we bring out our next guest?
I just want to thank you, Melody, for making me aware of the problem and for excusing my inappropriate behavior. I'm sorry for the timing of laughing at my son's jokes.
Thank you. I really hope to meet your son one day and hear his jokes.
Oh, he'd love to meet you. He loves meeting strangers. Sometimes he steals from them, but he loves to meet them.
As long as he doesn't steal my melons.
And that is the story of today. Thank you, Melody. So our next guest, we have a super successful chef / restaurateur, Johnny Tanner. And he is going to be promoting a new book called Putting Love into Your Food. Welcome, Johnny. How are you?
Johnny
Hello,
Tanner.
hello. It is a delight to be here. Gloria, Ashley, Laura, and Melody. So charming to meet you all. Oh my goodness, I am in heaven right now.
Oh my
So,
gosh,
Johnny, tell
what
us
a nice
about
man.
your book.
I like
We
your,
are flattered.
your suit jacket. That's nice.
Oh well, please. I have to dress my best. I mean, we can't meet in person, so this is you still have to have an occasion every once in a while. But I'm grateful to be here talking about my new book, Putting Love into Your Food, really bearing down to the basics of my philosophies when it comes to the dining experience that I want to see happening in America and, frankly, the entire world.
Oh, I love that.
Can you tell us briefly what is that philosophy? What do you want the dining experience to look like?
Well, unfortunately, right now, the world in the restaurant industry is in chaos, to put it just how it is. But I do think now is the time to rethink things. And when we can absorb an idea of just thinking, what is our engagement with the experience? Of course, we eat a meal, share a meal with other people. We try to have quality moments in that relationship. But we don't think about the relationship we have with the food itself. And I think that might be the most beautiful thing we are ignoring.
That's so interesting. So you're saying when I go to an Olive Garden, for example, I order a big bowl of spaghetti and I eat it up, that's the wrong thing to do.
Exactly. I think, with all due respect to the folks at Olive Garden, I know the folks that run them. They are quality people, but we philosophically disagree on spaghetti just being a meal. You see a plate of spaghetti at Olive Garden. Mm-hmm. I see pasta that began its life as flour, egg, other ingredients, and it forms itself. It is strained, and comes out so in a luscious form. It is draped in beautiful red sauce that glimmers, and it catches your eye, and you just think to yourself, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. I see something that is so whole, that accepts me as much as I accept it. And soon we will be together. We will be one. We will be not separate entities, but joined so beautifully and harmoniously inside of each other.
Wow.
Inside of each other. Are
That's
you
what I heard
inside
too.
the spaghetti as well? Is this
Well, in sort of ways. I mean, we become one. It's in the beautiful process that is consuming food. I become one with spaghetti. It becomes part of me, and for years acting kind of coy with each other and sort of dancing around the fact that maybe we have feelings about the dining experience that we don't talk about. And
How
really,
old is the pasta?
Pasta is hundreds of years old. It's a classic Italian dish.
Okay.
So it's trust me, it knows what it's getting into. Pasta knows what it is.
Johnny, are you married or in a
I
relationship?
I was curious about your relationship status.
Oh, me too.
I am freshly divorced as well. So hey, Gloria, welcome to the club. I'm joining the club.
Thank
Not so bad company, right?
Not so bad at all.
Yeah, no, but very, very freshly available and on the market. Yes, I'll leave it at that.
Can I just say, the way you talk about food, I wish my husband would talk that way about me.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw how I treated food, I would wish that for everyone, and I think that can happen. In my latest restaurant, Intimacy, that is magically it was ready for COVID before anything else. We have established separate dining pods that in turn are barriers that protect. So we are open right now for business, where there are no windows in, the doors are sealed completely, and you are left to your meal that you enjoy privately and at your own discretion, making room for the intimacy that is the meal you ordered and something you get to share together. That's Just a beautiful moment I wouldn't want to intrude on, and that's the idea of when you go to intimacy. You actually deal with no humans whatsoever. It's all you're selected via an iPad, and the only interaction you have is with the food. Because why get in the way of that connection?
I just did a quick Google, and those pods he's talking about, they got beds in them.
That is correct. We come from a different philosophy where you want to be comfortable while you eat. So we took the Eastern philosophy of having your meal on the floor, and we went a step further and added a bed, sheets, scented candles, and music from the entire catalog of Kenny G.
Sounds and I don't mean to be so forward or so frank.
Say it, girl. Say it.
It sounds like a hooker hotel.
Whoa! Your words, not mine. Okay, it is not that. These are it'd be the equivalent of having an escort service.
Okay, I mean that's what it sounds like. I mean I could be wrong.
Look,
detective, you're the detective here. What does it sound like to you?
None of my business, and respectfully, isn't yours. What they do behind closed doors is the intimacy, the meal, and the human person shares together.
Now, me and my kids, we often like to have a little breakfast in bed on a Saturday morning with the sun shining in and having French toast all together, snuggled up in our comforter. Maybe that's also an experience that someone can do at intimacy, maybe.
Well, that sounds nice. That sounds appropriate. The way that Johnny was talking, it sounded like I was watching, and again, I hate to be frank, but it sounded like I was hearing about a porno, a pornography.
Whoa. Okay, once again, your words, not mine. Okay, your words, not mine.
I mean, I'm not trying to be rude. It sounds. I've watched my fair share of pornographies, and this sounds a lot like a pornography.
All right, well, listen, we actually do have... I'm glad you bring this up, because what we do is a little bit more like an art house film. It's done tastefully. We've actually, I'll announce it now. We're going to be announcing a film series where we demonstrate how to properly enjoy a meal. And they are done tastefully with cinematic consideration, proper soundtrack, and it is we've emphasized, we make sure our directing team is not running the old mill of how you do these fast meal preps. None of that tasty overshot nonsense. We are taking our time with these ones. We are letting this brew. We have an entire beef Wellington recipe that is the equivalent of a 1-season arc on an CW type television show. And let me tell you, the culmination at the end is truly something beautiful.
I have a question for old Johnny. Have you ever had sex with a woman?
I haven't.
Or a man, or anyone, any human.
I have not. You're
not
touching
even
on
your
the
ex-wife?
That was probably one of the the second biggest issue my ex-wife had with our marriage.
Okay. Johnny, I mean, I don't, again, hating to be frank,
I think you're starting to enjoy it, Gloria.
I think you'll. I
To be frank.
kind of like being frank. I can rename yourself Gloria to Frank over there.
All right. To be frank, because I enjoy it, are you in therapy for a sort of perversion, if you will, with food? To be frank.
I am.
Oh, you said you are.
Sure, I am. Would any of you like comps to my restaurants? Connect, my restaurant Lodge, on the Lower East Side we have Insert, just opened up last year, and then Connect 4 recently opened up as well. I could comp you all meals there. And you could see this experience yourself. Don't knock it till you try it. Don't knock it till you try it.
Well, you know what? It is hard to find a good man at my age, so maybe I'll go to this little food porno hotel of yours.
Art house.
I'm open to it.
Do people have sex in the pods?
What they do in there is their own business. Okay, I'm not getting in the way of what is shared. But
because if it were me, I would just not fuck the food. I'm sorry, I said fuck again, but I would not make love to the food. I would make love to a man in the pod and just enjoy a nice meal. If we're just allowing anything in these pods.
With all due respect, we have.
You can say "to be frank" to her, and it forgives everything.
Well, to be frank, if the experience you might have with food versus a human man might be a little better. You ever think of how beautiful a well-prepared clam linguine dish might be?
I don't even know what those words are.
Oh, so just to bring it back to the book,
yes.
I imagine you talk about cooking in the book.
Oh, yes, indeed. I mean, I studied in France for quite a while before and back in the 80s, got into owning my own restaurant, which was a business of itself. But the preparation part of making food is essential. And I talk about a couple of key recipes I have there that everyone here can try at home. And I encourage everyone to try as well.
There's no sex involved with the cooking of the food.
No,
Johnny, I just did a quick
There's making
Google.
love, but there's no sex.
I did a quick Google as our guest host Ashley did her own quick little Google. I did my own quick little Google on your book, and there are several, again, to be frank, very nude photos in this little book of yours.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's one half of it is recipe, and they are immediately paired with. We brought the joy of cooking and the joy of sex together, finally in harmony. So you see the recipe, and then you see the best positions. What to do with a donut, what to do with a tiramisu, what to do with a bag of chips, and the best positions as recommended from a Kama Sutra expert to enjoy them per se.
What would you do for Detective Melody's enjoyment? What would you do for a little melon?
Personally, I prefer the big melons.
Oh, wow.
Gross.
Wow.
It's just logistical. I have no shame against it. I think small melons are as nice as large melons. And I mean the fruit. I don't mean a euphemism for a body part. I strictly mean the fruit in this scenario.
No, we get that. You're strictly a food guy.
Yeah.
I'm a foodie. What can I say? We're all the same when you think about it.
I don't know.
What would you do with
talk to other folks in the foodie circles, and anyone spending that much time setting up a photo and setting up the lighting for food, they got a little bit more of a connection, If you spend more time taking a picture of food than you would with your partner, come on.
I mean, I have spent several days gallivanting around with Guy Fieri, and never once have I seen him have sex with any sort of food or fruit or water or anything that you ingest.
Well, Guy and I have different philosophies, but between you and me, behind closed doors, Guy gets what cooking really is about.
Is that an exclusive for She Said, She Said? Are you saying Guy Fieri has sex with his food?
Everyone. Bobby Flay, Danny Meyer, the late great Anthony Bourdain. Any true chef knows to put their love into their food.
Alan, can we go ahead and tweet that out, please?
That thinks this is bizarre.
Okay, right on it. Yeah.
Thanks. We're tweeting that out. Thanks for the
Thank
big
you,
drop.
Alan.
Yeah. Sorry, didn't you interrupt?
No, not at all. I mean, I'm just happy we can all live openly. That everyone that wants to be a professional chef really wants to put their love into their food.
Wait. Just as a mother of two young children, I just wanted to clarify that you do mean that you only have sex with foods that are meant for you, not foods that you then give to customers.
Without consent, of course. With consent, anytime they want.
Wait, consent with... I just to clarify for my children.
Sure.
You ask consent for the food, or you ask consent for the customer you're giving the food too?
All parties involved. If I'm seeing, if me and let's say Guy are hanging out, and Guy and
You mean
the
Guy
dish he's about to
Fieri,
serve
yes?
me have had a relationship already, and he's okay with it, and I'm okay with it, and so is the dish he's about to serve me being okay with it, then it's more than okay. There's no judgment. It doesn't matter if you've had one food dish as your partner or many food dishes as your partner. It's all the same in our eyes. We're pretty. We try to be as open-minded as we can be about these things.
That's all you can ask for, really. These days, I feel like that's the best you can get. I've recently divorced, so I'm maybe not in the best headspace to judge what's the best option. But I'm going to say right now that sounds like a pretty good option.
Except I can imagine that when you're finished making love to the food, that ultimately either eating it or throwing it in the trash might be a difficult task.
Well, I mean, that's why we kind of have a holistic approach and you consume it all, because it's never really gone when it's a part of you. I think food waste is one of the largest crimes that can be done. Those are so many empty relationships just tossed aside, as well as hungry plates, but mostly empty relationships.
So you eat the food after you have sex with it?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, I hate to burst a bubble here, but that's kind of the best part.
I don't really get all this, but I do appreciate your passion for the thing you're in love with. And I was just wondering, what would you do as someone that has ravaged 6 baskets of chicken wings? What would you do to 6 baskets of chicken wings?
Me? I mean, 6 baskets, that is...
Let's say this is a dream day with 6 baskets of... No financial restrictions. It's a holiday. And you just graduated from a master's program at Harvard. So this is a big day for you.
One of them's got a surprise bone.
Ooh.
I see the double entendre there, but I'm kind of... I'll be honest, I'm embarrassed to be getting this worked up on TV over the idea about it. But, I wouldn't know where to start. I think it would just be a free-for-all and just turn left, there's passion. Turn right, there's passion as I just consume every sweet morsel, as every light shines and glimmers on the sweet skin and sauce, that sweet, sweet sauce, that sweet little sauce on the chicken wing. Oh, and it just rolls all. I'm sorry, this is becoming private matters, becoming very public very fast. I'm breaking my own rules here.
Seems like maybe that's a new chapter for your next book. We just inspired.
Well, there's the book's still being written, and the figurative book. It's an open book, and all are welcome.
Well, listen, Johnny, you tell us when that book is written. In the meantime, I think all of our viewers are going to be itching to go read the book that has several pictures of you. It's out at Barnes & Noble right now. I believe it's $72. Is that correct?
Yep.
That
Putting
is
love
correct.
into your food.
$72.
We are the only book being
food.
sold at Barnes & Noble right now.
Okay, so go buy that book up. You're not gonna want to put it down.
And those are all our guests for today. Thank you so much for being here, Melody and Johnny Tanner. Thank you.
A true pleasure. Thank you.
Best of luck on all your endeavors. I hope you get to have a lot of sex with food, and I hope you find this melon thief, detective.
And thank you, Ashley Brotzbauer, for being here, for putting all that effort into finding the show and to eating all those chicken wings.
Thank you.
I'm sure Johnny will be fantasizing about your accomplishments for many years to come.
Yeah, and best of luck with those boys, those rambunctious little boys of yours.
Thank you. Check out my Etsy store. I write things on pillows with markers.
Fancy.
Oh, wow, you buried the lead with that one.
And I think that's our show.
I think so, yeah. Oh, also thanks to Alan.
Thank you to
Alan.
Alan.
Keeps us in check.
Thank you. And of course,
thank
thank you to viewers at home. We could not have this show without you. Kellogg's wouldn't give us the money if we didn't have the viewers. So thank you to our viewers at home. And Laura, thank you to you as always. You're my best friend and my best enemy.
Thank you. Thank you, Gloria. You're my best friend and my best enemy as well.
Thank you so much,
Good night,
everybody. And good
everybody.
night.
Thank you.